Tomtv network, back with another video, back-to-back uploads today. I told y'all, but we got DeWanna Biners, CRIES, and Panic after journalist reveals why she left the Indiana Fever. So we about to see and react and why she left the Indiana Fevers. You know, a little bit of drama for my team. Let's get straight into it.
DeWanna Bonner maybe left the Indiana Fever, and her reasoning is crazy if true.
So here's the thing nobody saw coming. Veteran legend DeWanna Bonner just got waived by the Indiana Fever after basically ghosting the team for weeks. But now a bombshell report from Christine Brennan suggests the real reason behind this drama might blow your mind. We're talking about something way deeper than basketball.
Okay.
What do you think really went down between Bonner and the Fever? Drop your theories in the comments.
The DeWanna Bonner situation is one of the most unprofessional things I have ever seen in any level of professional sport.
I think because she wasn't playing.
And it has to be addressed. If you're not familiar, DeWanna Bonner is cut from the Indiana Fever. We have just waived her, and we've brought back Ari McDonald. DeWanna Bonner has not played in the last few Indiana Fever games, and we were all thinking it was because of personal reasons. And all us Indiana Fever fans were thinking it was something big. I even said on a few of my live streams, hey.
All right, let's break this absolute mess down, because honestly, this whole DeWanna Bonner situation with the Indiana Fever is wilder than anyone expected. The 37-year-old veteran was waived by Indiana on Wednesday after appearing in just 9 games. But the real tea comes from what Christine Brennan just revealed about why this all went sideways. First, let's get our facts straight about what actually happened here. Bonner signed a 1-year deal with Indiana in the offseason and was expected to be a key veteran piece to star alongside Caitlin Clark in the up-and-coming Fever.
But she was doing bad, and she didn't get that role. I feel like
this wasn't some random pickup. This was supposed to be the missing piece that would help stabilize this young team around Clark's second professional season, but here's where it gets spicy.
Learned yesterday that DeWanna Bonner had no intention of coming back to the Indiana Fever. So initially we were wondering, hey, what is the reason? And the media has been feeding us this lie. The main reason why DeWanna Bonner is dipping out is because she wants to be in a starting position, and maybe she's mad about Lexi Holt outperforming her. Maybe she's mad about the fact that she's not getting the position of Natasha.
Which she is, though. She is outperforming her.
Howard on the team, and she's just been benched because she has not been playing well. They've also been saying that the fit is not well because she is a very slow player in a team that likes to play really fast. These are good concerns, and these are true probably to a certain extent, but that's not the end of it. What they've been trying to hide is the fact that DeWanna Bonner is leaving to go play with her wife.
According to multiple league sources, DeWanna Bonner has no interest in returning to play for the Fever, and she basically disappeared from the team, citing personal reasons for weeks before getting the axe. Now, we've all seen players have issues with...
So she want to play for her... She want to play with her... Did he just say she want to play with... Did he just say she just wanted to play with her wife?
Before, but what Christine Brennan dropped about this situation is absolutely wild.
As much as Christine Brennan does very much lean anti-WNBA, she's still Christine Brennan. Like... I know a lot of people want to say, oh, Christine Brennan is this, Christine Brennan is that. But at the end of the day, Christine Brennan is Christine Brennan. She is...
Who the hell?
...is arguably the most important female sports journalist of all time.
Okay. Brennan, who's basically the most respected female sports journalist on the planet, went on ESPN and shared some insider information that's got everyone talking. And look, before we get into this... we need to acknowledge that Brennan has serious credibility here. She's not some random blogger making stuff up. This is someone whose reputation would be absolutely demolished if she was just throwing around baseless rumors.
So here's what she said about DeWanna Bonner.
What'd she say?
Look at DeWanna Bonner, and there's reporting on her, and I don't have any inside reporting. So DeWanna Bonner was brought in by Stephanie White, the new coach, formerly a Fever player and coach as well, for the Fever, brought from Connecticut, and she wanted to bring her star veteran, 37-year-old DeWanna Bonner, as a stabilizing influence. A leader went out in 2 games in the playoffs, and they needed more depth and more leadership and more veteran savvy, etc. So that's the decision that Stephanie White makes. Within a couple of games, DeWanna Bonner is not playing well, And then she disappears, and then she's literally now gone, and says she doesn't want to play, and she wants to, trade, and
So
we'll see what's happening with
weird.
Phoenix and all of that.
Yeah.
Well, it is, but the little.
We know up to that point. We know.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, we knew that. We knew that. Like, what's the tea? Let's give it a buck. We just want the tea. We want the tea, y'all. We want the tea. We want the gritty, the nitty-gritty, the nitty-gritty. Let's just continue the video. Y'all know what I'm trying to say.
She was playing badly. She disappeared.
So here's the bombshell that Brennan revealed. It's just a super hot spotlight. And instead of loving it and going with it and making money because Caitlyn can't do every supermarket gig, they're all getting all that stuff, the Fever players, because Caitlyn can't do everything. And so this is a great life for them. And Bonner couldn't handle it or didn't want it or was getting to her.
Is no, like, this next part is the crazy part, and this next part is why I'm making.
So she couldn't handle the fame. So what will happen if the WNBA turn out just as big as the NBA? A lot of teams got a lot of fame besides the Utah Jazz. No shade.
Making this video because up to this point, from what Christine Brennan said,
And
and this is
Portland
Christine Brennan
Trailblazers.
on
No shade.
ESPN LA, and it's a video titled "Christine Brennan thinks Caitlyn Clark can do the unthinkable."
Little clue here. I was at that game May 17th, that home opener for the Fever against Chicago, and they just absolutely steamrolled them over 30 points. Great game by the Fever. And Bonner made it third all time at scoring, and had like some points. Her interview right afterwards, it's a joyous moment, right? I mean, we've all seen these interviews. Ramona, you've done them, I've done them. You're talking to the player. This is easy stuff, and she goes, I was shocked, she said, at the crowd. I've never seen anything like this, never experienced anything like this before. And I thought, what an interesting thing to say. Honest, yay, we love honesty. Yeah. But she's 37 and she's never seen anything like this.
So she pretty much, she don't like fame. She just want to hoop. I mean, at least she honest.
And it's 17,000 people, packed house, going crazy. They know their basketball. And they love you, and they love Caitlyn, and they love everything about the team that Bonner is now on. Great, okay. And in talking to a source or two, it appears that Bonner was unable to, in some way, shape, or form, just deal with that spotlight.
Wait, what? You're telling me that a veteran who's been in this league for 16 years, who's won championships, who's literally seen everything, couldn't handle the spotlight that comes with playing alongside Caitlyn Clark?
Hey, that pressure is deep. I ain't gonna lie. That pressure is deep because that's like you play. I ain't gonna lie. This is like another, like, I'm not comparing them to because he's my favorite player in the NBA of all time. I'm not comparing them, but spotlight wise, like, as a WNBA version of him, that's like playing alongside LeBron James. If you do one mess up, everybody will come in your head. So you got to respect that.
That's actually kind of crazy when you think about it, but here's where it gets even more interesting. Brennan recalled a specific moment that now makes perfect sense in hindsight. After her first home game, the Fever May 17, DeWanna Bonner, 37, said, "The crowd kind of shocked me a little bit. This is my first time playing in this kind of environment." Think about that for a second. This is DeWanna Bonner we're talking about. A player who's been an all-star 6 times, who's played in big games, who's been in championship runs. And she's saying she's never experienced anything like what happens at Indiana Fever games now that Caitlyn Clark is there? That's honestly wild. Now, let's be real about what the Caitlyn Clark effect actually means for the Indiana Fever. We're not talking about normal WNBA crowds here. We're talking about packed arenas with 17,000 screaming fans who know basketball and are absolutely losing their minds for this team.
Yeah.
The energy is completely different from anything the WNBA has traditionally seen.
Yeah.
And here's the kicker. Brennan's theory is that instead of embracing this massive spotlight and the opportunities that come with it, Bonner just couldn't adapt to that level of attention and pressure. Think about it. When you're playing with Caitlyn Clark, you're not just playing basketball.
And I give you this right now. If you want to talk business side, we're going to talk business for a second. Listen, playing with that spotlight boy, you about to watch your Instagram followers move up. We talk about the WNBA. NBA, they make crazy money. So we ain't gonna talk about them, but WNBA, they don't make that much. So if you watch your Instagram move up, that's money on the side for you right there. Facebook, maybe? Money on the side right there. TikTok, skyrocket. You know what I'm saying? Because Caitlin Clark fan base. And like even if you want to be like tricky all season, start up a YouTube. Bruh. And then all them brands don't come too. Sponsors, all that stuff. Like if y'all like look at Sophie. Look at Sophie, for example. Like she gaining mad followers because she put everybody like she's the enforcer, blah blah blah. Even though she had bad games, they don't really talk about it like that. Like they really on Sophie's side. Same with Lexi Hall. Lexi Hall, boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? They love Lexi over there. Now Kelsey, that's my girl. I don't know. I don't believe they give her much hype. My personal opinion, you know what I'm saying? But Kelsey, that's my girl. Even Howard, her Instagram, everybody Instagram followers moving up because Caitlin Clark is there. You know what I'm saying? It's the Caitlin effect, man. I ain't gonna lie. And she couldn't handle it. Bonner couldn't handle it. I get it.
Anymore. You're part of a cultural phenomenon.
We can't even talk about me. Caitlin effect. I was at 600 followers. Boom, 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 boom. I'm at 1,000 now because of Caitlin. You feel me? It's the Caitlin effect. It's true.
Every game
Everybody
is
likes
nationally televised.
And we
Every
can't
move
believe
is
it.
scrutinized, and
Can't
the
blame it,
expectations are through the roof. The sarcastic part of me wants to say, really? A
And she
veteran
couldn't-
player couldn't handle success?
She couldn't
But
handle the heat.
honestly, this makes more sense than people want to admit. Not everyone is built for that level of spotlight. We've seen it in other sports. Players who can perform when nobody's watching but crumble when the lights get too bright. Bonner averaged 7.1 points and 3.8 rebounds per game before being waived by the Fever earlier this week. Those aren't terrible numbers, but they're definitely not what you'd expect from a player of her caliber. She went from being a consistent contributor to looking lost on the court, and now we might know why. What makes this even more fascinating is the timeline of how everything went down. Bonner signed a one-year contract with the Fever in February and started in the first 3 games of the 2025 season. On May 17th, she became the 3rd all-time leading scorer in WNBA history with 7,189 points. So she hit this incredible milestone, had that moment where she talked about being shocked by the crowd, and then everything just fell apart from there. She got benched after 3 games, started coming off the bench, and then basically vanished from the team entirely. Bonner has not played since June 10th due to personal reasons, and now we're finding out that those personal reasons might have been her just not being able to deal with the circus that surrounds Caitlin Clark and the Fever. Here's what's really telling, though, the business side of this. Brennan pointed out that being on the Fever with Caitlin Clark is basically a goldmine for endorsements and appearance
Bro, we all just said this.
fees.
We already talked
Clark
about this.
can't do every commercial, every appearance, every autograph signing. So her teammates get opportunities they'd never have on any other team. Most
Facts.
players would kill for that kind of exposure and those financial opportunities. But apparently Bonner wanted no part of it. And honestly, that's her choice. But it's also kind of mind-blowing. We're talking about a player at the tail end of her career who could have cashed in big time, but instead
Facts.
chose to walk away because the spotlight was too intense.
Facts.
The really wild part is how this all connects to the broader Caitlin Clark phenomenon.
Facts.
We've seen the numbers. Her games draw massive television audiences, sell out arenas, and generate social media buzz that the WNBA has never experienced before. But what we're learning is that not everyone can handle being part of that machine. Think about what Bonner was supposed to bring to this team. Clark spoke glowingly about the 6-time All-Star, who the Fever acquired on a 1-year deal in February as part of the team's effort to retool their roster and add more experienced vets to support Clark.
Facts.
Clark literally said, "Just the way she talks and she leads for me as a second-year point guard, I want to win for her. This is
Yeah.
the end of her career. She deserves it." That's some heavy praise from Clark, and it shows
True.
how much the team was counting on Bonner to be that veteran leader. But
Now, do she still get the? Do they do it like the NBA? Even though you got cut and stuff, do she still get the ring if they win?
instead of rising to the
Or she didn't
occasion,
play enough
it
games.
seems like she wilted under the pressure of being part of the Caitlin Clark show.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room here. Some people are going to say this is all speculation and that Brennan doesn't have concrete sources for this theory. And you know what? They might be right to be skeptical. But here's the thing. Christine Brennan doesn't just throw stuff out there without some basis in reality. She's too smart and too experienced to risk her reputation on complete nonsense. Plus,
You never
when
know,
you look
though.
at all the pieces of this puzzle,
Money can
Brennan's
be
theory
desperate,
actually
man.
makes a lot of sense.
Business
Bonner's
side.
comments about being shocked by the crowd, her declining performance on the court, her sudden disappearance from the team. It all fits with someone who just couldn't handle the intensity of being part of the Caitlin Clark phenomenon. What's
Dang,
really
Holy Glaze. Man.
interesting is how this reflects the broader challenges the WNBA is facing right now. The league is experiencing unprecedented growth and attention, largely because of Clark, but not everyone in the league is equipped to handle that level of scrutiny and pressure.
Watch,
Some
Paige gonna
players
get
are
up there,
thriving
man.
in this new environment, while others are struggling to adapt. And here's where it gets a bit sad, honestly. After she missed 4 straight games due to personal reasons, reports indicated Bonner wasn't happy with her role and had no interest in returning to the Fever. This is a Hall of Fame player we're talking about, someone who should be enjoying the twilight of her career. But
Yeah.
instead, she's walking away from what could have been an incredible opportunity. The aftermath of all this has been pretty telling, too. Bonner posted a note to social media on Thursday to address the criticism she's facing after parting ways with the Fever.
Bruh, I'm telling you, they crazy, bruh. Indian Fever's
A
crazy.
quitter. Nah, never been that, Bonner wrote on Instagram. But when the time comes, let's just make sure the apologies are just as loud as the disrespect. You can tell she's frustrated by how this whole situation has been perceived, and honestly, I get it. Nobody wants to be labeled as someone who quit when things got tough, but at the same time, if Brennan's
I feel like she didn't quit because things got tough. She quit because she couldn't handle the heat. She couldn't handle that heat.
theory is correct, then Bonner basically did quit because she couldn't handle the spotlight that comes with playing alongside one of the biggest stars in basketball. The business implications of this are huge, too.
Yeah.
Bonner was one of the most sought-after free agents this past offseason, ultimately signing a 1-year, $200,000 deal with the Fever. Teams were lining up to get her services, and she chose Indiana specifically to play with this group. But now she's been waived, and other teams can potentially pick her up for nothing. Those same sources indicated Bonner's preferred landing spots are with the Phoenix Mercury or the Atlanta Dream. It's interesting that she wants to go to teams where she can be more of a focal point rather than playing second fiddle to a superstar.
Yeah.
That kind of supports Brennan's theory about not being able to handle the Caitlin Clark spotlight. What this whole situation...
Now, what if they play? Now, what if they come back play and she go crazy in the spotlight? Ooh, that would be a bad look.
really highlights
That would
is
be
how
a
much the
bad look.
WNBA has changed because of
if Bonner
Caitlin
go
Clark.
crazy
The
when they
level of
face the
attention,
Indian
the
Fever,
pressure, the expectations, it's all completely different now. Some players are embracing it and benefiting from it, while others are finding out they're not cut out for this new reality. From a team perspective, this has to be frustrating for the Fever. They brought in Bonner specifically to be that veteran presence who could help guide this young team, and instead they got 9 games and a whole lot of drama. Now they're scrambling to replace her production and leadership with the Indiana Fever, signed back Ari McDonald for the remainder of the season after DeWanna Bonner was let go. The really wild part is thinking about what could have been. If Bonner had been able to adapt to the spotlight and embrace her role on this team, the Fever could have been legitimate contenders. Instead, they're dealing with chemistry issues and trying to figure out their rotation on the fly.
Yeah.
And let's be honest about the elephant in the room here. This whole situation probably doesn't happen if Caitlin Clark wasn't on the team. That's not a...
Maybe he got a point. But they got to work with Caitlin, man. I ain't gonna lie.
knock on Clark at all, but it's just the reality of what comes with being a generational talent who brings unprecedented attention to your sport. What's particularly fascinating is how this connects to some of the broader tensions we've seen in the WNBA around Clark's popularity and success. There's clearly some resentment from certain players and media members about the amount of attention Clark receives, and maybe Bonner just couldn't deal with being constantly in that conversation. The timing of all this is particularly brutal, too. The new-look Indiana Fever roster will face off against the LA Sparks on Thursday, looking to improve on their record, 7-7, with a chance to go above 500 Tullers for the first time this season. They're right in the thick of the playoff race, and they're having to deal with this distraction and roster upheaval. Looking forward, this whole situation is probably going to serve as a cautionary tale for other veterans who might be thinking about joining teams with superstars. The money and exposure are tempting, but you better make sure you're mentally prepared for what comes with that territory.
For real. Lesson today.
So there you have it. Christine Brennan's theory about why DeWanna Bonner really left the Fever. Whether you buy into the spotlight explanation or think there's more to the story, this whole situation shows how much the WNBA has changed. What's your take? Like this video if you found it interesting and
hey man, what y'all think? I think my bad. I was looking at those two videos right there. I don't know, but I think this is one of the videos that like is actually true though. So like, you know, that's a W theory. Like W theory and known source reported that too. So I think it's pretty true. So make sure you hit the like and subscribe. This video is interesting, and now like I know why it makes sense. It really do. It makes sense. But make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Stay tuned more videos like this, and just know that big man up there, God. Make sure y'all pray with him. You know what I'm saying? Talk to him, because you know he always got you. Feel me? Peace.